Welcome to Option Pandit YouTube channel. I've got something interesting to share with you. A news which might actually end up making some money as well. And we want to ride on to something, somebody else who has done great work for us. Well, let me introduce you to a company called Netflix. Now, Netflix is a company that I usually, keep it in my list for trading options. And as I was watching Netflix yesterday, especially, after the FOMC announcement, I spotted something. What was that? Let me show this to you. As I was going through Netflix and I looked at the price, it was pretty close to 52 weeks low. So I thought, let's evaluate if there is an opportunity to trade on Netflix. And as I was going through it, I found some interesting news on Netflix. And let me show you what the news was. And the news was this. William Ackman's hedge fund takes stake in Netflix. Now, Bill Ackman, as he's popularly known, is a very famous investor. In fact, I call him a super investor. And many times I actually ride on to the trades that he is doing. And sometimes you can find that through SEC websites and through major investors transactions, various portals where it is available. But yesterday it was actually right there on Yahoo Finance. So when I spotted this, I thought, let me check out whether this news is actually true or not. So in order to do that, I actually went in and I look at the AP News where I can find out and see the truth behind this particular news. So when I look at the AP News and I say Pershing Square Capital Management releases letter to the investors, and there you see it, Bill Ackman's letter to the investor, and he says that beginning Friday over the last several days, you've actually invested and collected more than 3.1 million shares of Netflix. Now, Netflix is at about $500 per share. And if you multiply that 500 times 3, that gives you approximately $1.5 billion investment. Now, that's a sizable investment. Wouldn't you think so? If you look at it, you'll find that it's making him among the top 20 shareholders in the company. Now, he's one of my favorite investor. I follow Bill Ackman, especially from a trades point of view, and see an opportunity if I can ride along. And this is one of the strategy, where somebody else has done work for you. And if you are okay and if you allocate capital properly, then this may offer a great opportunity. So then again, I look at it and I say, okay, find out whether or not there is a profitable history of this investor. Previous transactions of Bill Ackman, and you can see that there are 6 companies, like a heavily concentrated portfolio on Loews and CMG, HLD, QSR, HSC, and so on. And they are pretty solid companies and been doing pretty well, except the QSR, which I think was hit because of COVID-19. So even though the trade has been declared by Bill Ackman on Yahoo Finance, I just wouldn't go in like that. So I would like to do a little bit of research and see whether or not, it's a good company, whether or not fundamentals behind backing up going into the trade. So in order to do that, I actually logged into my Thinkorswim trading platform, and there I see, if I go through it, Netflix $359, and as I go through the financials, there is one special section that I looked at, and that was simply going into and finding out the value of the company. And I look at the preface estimates of $635 on this. And if you look at it, 51.4% is coming from just the US streaming subscription alone, and international streaming subscription is making up for approximately 48.3 percentage of the valuation or percent of the market cap. And based upon that, they're estimating that it is currently valued like almost 68% lower versus the true value of the company. So even if I don't assume that it's going to be $600 worth of stock, but at 350 or 370, and Bill Ackman going in at around that price as well, it offers me sort of like a margin of safety riding on the back of one of the super investor, and then I go in. So there are several ways that you can create these kind of trades. And how you can create these kind of trades, you can use options, you can use leaps options. Leaps means the long-term options, or you can create, you can simply just buy the stocks itself. There are many ways. So yesterday, that's where I left Netflix. trading idea, especially how Bill Ackman was bullish about the stock, and I left it to you to decide what kind of strategy would you like to open on that. So many of you reached out to me and you asked if I could show you placing an option trade on Netflix with a long-term bullish perspective. So I decided to, record a short video combined with the original one so that this entire video you can watch at one go and see how you can build an option trade, especially on Netflix using a long-term options. So let's get started. Okay, let's look at what's been happening to Netflix in last 1 year. I'm going to change the stock symbol here to Netflix. NFLX is the stock symbol. And when I enter here, and you can see Netflix right now is trading around 386. And these vertical lines are just my way of figuring out buying and selling points for this particular stock. Okay, so based upon this, as you can see, it's trading right around here at 386, which happened to be almost at the low point as it was previous year, especially after the COVID crash. So it seems like it's a good opportunity. Just a month ago, it was approximately 700. So what we're going to do is we will assume this as an area that we are interested in to buy around 375, and we would like to build a trade using options. So what you see on the screen now is Thinkorswim, TD Ameritrade, and I have Netflix stock symbol entered in for the option chain. And let's say, I would like to buy this stock at this price itself. Now, I have two choices. One is I can go and buy stock at $388. Well, the prices have already moved since yesterday when I was recording that video. It's already up about $30. But let's say if this is the price you wanted to go in. If you wanted to buy 100 shares, you need $38,000. Or the other way is that you can buy a long-term option. Now, how long will be long? Let's say that we will buy at least 1 year type of option. So if I go for 1 year and I look at the option chain, I'll probably find 20th Jan 2023. And if I look at the money, which is the current price roughly, I can choose either 380 or 390. And if I choose 380, it's going to cost me just approximately $7,000, or the mid price is approximately 68. So it's just going to cost me about $6,800 or $6,800 in this case, as opposed to $38,000 by buying 100 shares. Now, when you buy this particular option, you'll notice that you can say it around, let's say, $70, and you decide to buy it at $70. But if you know a little bit about options, you will know that options are time decaying assets. So over a period of time, by Jan of 2023, if Netflix does not move to that level, this option will actually just decay, and all the money that you invested in this will be lost. You could also consider it like in a stop loss in case of stock, but okay, we'll talk about that in some other tutorial. Let's just focus on Netflix right now. So if I purchase this option, it's going to cost me $70. What I could also do is I can recoup some cost of this option, as opposed to buying a long-term option, which will decay. I can, sell some short-term options against it and, find or recoup some of my investments. So I can simply go and choose maybe like, let's say, February expiration. And if I go for Feb expiration, and let's say I decide to sell 400 call, I can sell this for $13 for 21 days. Now, if I collect $13 in about 1 month, and if I just keep doing it for just a couple of months, I should be able to recoup my cost of $70, which essentially means that my option can become free of cost. So let me just sell this option here at 13.7. And this is expiring in 21 days. And you can see that my cost long-term option is $70. And for the option, which I'm selling for 400 strike, is approximately $13. So there are some pros and cons of this. And the pros and cons are, of course, first, you need to understand and know how options are traded. And the second thing is that after the 400 price is achieved, you're not really going to make much of the money on that. This Greeks and the risk and reward profile of this particular trade will change after the 400 strike. But don't forget that, let's say if the stock goes to $400 by February, then not only that you're going to make money on your long call option, which is $70, but you will also get to keep your $13 as it is. All the premium will come to your pocket. So it's a great strategy. It's a great way for you to play in the long term on Netflix, bullish move. And you can buy long-term option, which is 1 year, as I mentioned here, for $70, and you can sell a short-term option like around 400 for about $13. Now, what is the downside risk? Downside risk is that Netflix continue to crash, and if it continues to crash, then you will lose out 70 minus 13, which is your $57, or 57 times 100, $5,700 will be lost. Other way, let's say if you are really bullish, you want to really trade, maybe you could go for, say, April, and then for April you can simply just go 385, and you can sell vertical spread for 385 and 380. You will get about 55 cents credit, but if it goes down, the loss will be $5 minus 55, which is $445, excuse me. So that is another strategy. But in this case, since I'm long-term bullish, I would rather prefer to open a long-term call and sell short-term calls against it. Now, as a disclaimer, I'm not in the trade right now. This is not the way I've structured my trade. I will be reviewing in my portfolio. Got to do proper due diligence and also look at my portfolio capital available to see whether I would like to go via option, or I will simply just buy the share as it is. You decide based upon how much you know about option and what kind of strategy would you like to build in. This is just one of the examples that might be helpful to you. So with all that, I hope you enjoyed. And if these are the contents that you would like to enjoy and have more and more of these type of video, you may want to consider subscribing it. If not, and if you just consider this video was great, you enjoyed it, just give us a like and let this video reach out to more and more people. Thank you for that. I appreciate that as well. I look forward to seeing you in the next. Till then, enjoy. Happy trading.